got the boat flipped over, one of the first things I have to do is get the seams in shape for the taping and then for the glass cloth that will go on later. I went ahead and took my sabers or jigsaw and cut out the opening and then routed out the rest of it for the dagger board opening. And then I've got a little bit of work to do on that, but not much. One of the things you want to try to do, or remember to do, is when you're working on the edges, go with the surface that you're with. Try not to do any rounding on the edge itself. You think you'll be able to do it, but you can't. On one of my other little boats, the edge, I had some rough edges. Instead of taking the time to fair them in the way I should have, I had taken my rasp to it and rounded them over. It didn't look right when I got done because you can't tell exactly where the center line is when you're doing this. And if you don't do it all the way through, it tends to wander over the edge and you don't have a nice straight edge. Remember, go at 90s with your hand file or your rasp, and if you're using a machine, to stay in with most of the machine resting on away from the edge, and then when you do the other side, go to it so you're just using a little bit of the edge. The other thing that I've done too was I came through and I put a sealing coat of epoxy along the joint. I want to get epoxy to seal off the end grain on the edges of the plywood panels. So I took my my toothbrush and some little bits of epoxy, like we said in the last one. Keep them small and change and mix often because you don't want the epoxy with a big batch. It'll get thicken up on you and it won't go in and penetrate the way it does with a fresh, smaller batch. So remember to do that. Everything was brushed in, all of the wire holes had a good coating, and then follow through with your foam roller to roll it out so you don't have any big drips that you have to scrape off or sand down later, which invariably you wind up sanding down the wood. Okay, we're going to get into some quick fairing. Now that I've got the edges on the hull coated with epoxy, and now I need to fill them up. So the thing I've been using is Quick Fair from System 3, but now I've got some what I call anyway, not so Quick Fair, and you'll know that you've got the slow version that they say on the front. Part B is light blue, that you know you got the slow version. If you got the fast, the Part B is going to be a white color. And I tried this out already on my rudder, and I can't say that this stuff really goes on good. And the thing I'd always asked them to do at System 3 was to come out with a not so fast Quick Fair. So they've come out with the slow version, and you have plenty of time to work with it before it starts setting up on you. Bag this mix once I get it all stirred up, and then I'll put it out like I normally do. But before, with the standard Quick Fair, and I mean it is Quick Fair, it would be going off in the bag, so I'd have to get it out as much as possible before, and make small batches in order to get it out before it cured on me. But if you've got something where you need something fixed quickly, then I can't recommend it highly enough. Quick Fair is quick, but now we've got the not so Quick Fair in the light blue color, and I'm going to do that. And like I said, I really enjoy this slower product. Okay, we're going to start putting this in. I've bagged it like I did with the Easy Fillet, and I find this works great for putting this on. I want to see, this is the first time I bagged the not so Quick Fair, the slow version of Quick Fair, and see whether or not it starts getting hot in my hands. The regular Quick Fair, you've got to be quick. So just put in a little layer, take the putty knife, start working it into the gaps. Chase it along. We'll come back later and give it a light sanding. After the tape gets on, we will use the QuickFair again to transition in. You can see one of the spots here where I, on my scarf joint, I put a layer of quartz glass on. We'll come in with some QuickFair, and I guess I can show what I'm going to do. And we'll put in a little bit of, that's pretty flat there anyway. It's not going to need it. Okay, you get the idea of what I'm doing, so I'm going to go ahead and do the boat, and then I've got the whole hull done now. I've sealed all the little seams with the new slow, or not so QuickFair, I'd like to call it, or smooth and creamy. I think that's a pretty good name for it too. This is the first time I was able to use the QuickFair in the slow form, in the bagging technique, and to use it for doing the beads on it. I'll do it again when we put the tape on, but I was extremely happy because I could feel it getting warm in my hand. It was starting to kick, but I was able to get through the whole bag without it going bad on me. And the thing I really like about this new slower QuickFair is that you get a second chance to come back and do another scraping. The original, regular QuickFair, the QuickFair, it's called QuickFair for a reason. And so you put it down and you get it rough, and you come back later and in a production situation, and you give it a sand about 3 or 4 hours later by hand, and then you put on another coat and you go from there. But for home builders like me and you, this new slow version is absolutely the best thing in the world, because you can come back and do another stroke over it and say, oh, not quite right. The handle's sticky. That's why I've got the cloth wrapped around it. Otherwise, I'd have gloves on. If I was actually working with it, always wear your gloves. But getting back to what I was saying, with the regular QuickFair, being so quick, you get these little granules starting to form, and so you go back, I can do it one more time, and then you say, one of those little granules picks up on the edge, and you get this gouge in it. With this new slower QuickFair, the slow set, I'm going to call it not so QuickFair, you can come back 2 or 3 times and smooth it in and really get it good. Even in the latter stages of a mix. Still, I would go with small mixes. The more concentrated epoxy is, the quicker the heat buildup, and the quicker the heat build, the quicker it kicks, and the quicker it kicks, the more heat it generates, and so on and so on. You know that. So do the small batches, and I was really happy. I'd put it in, I'd scrape it down, but then come along with a big blade, and then have most of the blade on out away from the joint, and just strike it along and get a good edge. On this layer, we're not looking for absolute perfection. We're just trying to fill the voids. The big voids, the little ones, I probably shouldn't even have wasted my time, because the liquid epoxy, when it goes through the glass tape, would have filled those voids anyway. So, but I like to get all the little nail hole or the wire holes and to get all that filled in. So I'm extremely happy the way this came out, and I'm extremely happy with the way the not so quick QuickFair works. Firm believer. On a little sidebar note, when you're doing anything with either the Easy Fillet or epoxy or the QuickFair, have something around that if you got some extra, or if it's going, it's kicking in on you, have something big you can throw the epoxy onto so you're not wasting it.